What's up, y'all? My name is Zachariah DeMalo, and I'm going to be telling a story about how I totaled my BMW and got arrested naked. So, gather around, boys and girls. It's about to get interesting. I got off work late at like 10:30. By the time I get home, it's 11. And I'm about to shower, eat, do normal people stuff, right? So, I start the shower, and, I'm just going about my day. And my mom was just irritating my whole soul for whatever reason, just like, you y'all know how moms be. And why is that dish right there? Why are you looking like that? Da, 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 da. And she didn't want them walk out the room and then come back in. And another thing. So I was just not having it. So I turned off the shower and I got my phone, got my charger, got my keys, and I was like, I'm just gonna go back out to the car, zone out. So I storm out the house and then I get in the car. Mind you, I don't have on no clothes. Cause I had the intent of coming right back. You know what I mean? Like I just needed some time. I get in the car, I take off, take off. And as soon as I take off, I run a stop sign. As soon as I run that stop sign, I see police sirens behind me. Mind you, my registration is expired. I do not have a front license plate. I do not have a rear view mirror. I just ran a stop sign. I was speeding, driving with no headlights on, and I'm sitting there with no clothes on. Like, the road I was driving on was like a windy road, kind of like the mountains or something like that. So, there's like cliffs, branches, trees, wildebeest, the whole shebang, right? So I'm driving, and as soon as I look back up, I see a cliff, and I was like, and it was too late for me to try to, not die. So I turned the steering wheel, hit the curb, the passenger side of the car hits the curb, airbags deploy, the car is smoking, the police are behind me, and my car is just just going, and so I have no choice but to stop, and I pull over, so I'm sitting there like this, naked, powder all over me. So it looked like a scene from White Chicks, when he was like powder all over me, airbags deployed, car smoking. I'm like this naked, police behind me, and I'm just well, okay, it's gonna be whatever. So the police are being mad extra. Get out the car slowly. Don't make no sudden movement. I'm getting out the car naked. Mind you, it's November. I swear it was 30 degrees. I'm getting out the car like this. Most embarrassing thing ever. And then they run up behind me, put me in handcuffs, and I'm on the car like this. And then they're like, okay, we're gonna be arresting you, placing you under arrest for running a stop sign, reckless driving, speeding. We don't even know how fast you're going because we couldn't clock you. And no registration, all that stuff. And then he said, and it looked like you were trying to evade the law, which means running from the police, whatever. And I was like, okay. So they put me in the back of the police car or whatever. They're tearing up my car, searching and everything like that, for honestly no reason. Just searching my car and stuff like that. And then the police comes back with my phone. Let me tell y'all how he tried to play me. He comes back with my phone and he's scrolling oh, what a coincidence. Your mom just texted you. Mothers always know best. Read that message for me.
Can we just take a moment to realize how accurate that text message is? I hate my life.
You that just spent out the parking lot, blah, blah, blah. And so I read the message and I was like, I'm gonna need you to put my phone down. Sir, officer. He was like, all right, so I'm gonna be keeping your phone and your keys and stuff like that. Your car is gonna be towed. And I was like, at this point, I was just glad to be away from my mom. To be quite honest, I was so mad and just defeated with life that it was just what else could possibly happen? You know what I mean? I'm literally in the car like this. For 20 minutes. They take me downtown to the police station. Let me tell y'all how this sketchy setup was, right? So it's like a parking garage, and then in the middle of the parking garage is the jail, which is so weird. So it's if you didn't know, you wouldn't know. You know what I mean? So we like drive up in this parking garage, and then the jail's right in the middle. So he takes me out, like lets me out the car or whatever, and then we go in, and he's like, all right, so I know you don't really like, you don't got on no clothes, but like I'm still gonna have to search you. And I was like, search me? Soldier Boy me, search me? He's patting me down like, all right, well, you're good to go. Then I have to do fingerprints and stuff like that, and then they put me in this holding cell. At this point, it's 12, like 12 a.m. or whatever. And I'm like, okay, like now what? And then somebody was like, okay, so you're going to be seeing the judge at 6 a.m. So I'm like, okay, so I have 6 hours to kill. So it's me in this cell with like 12 other people, right? Like a small room, straight concrete, no beds, no pillows, no seating, just the ground and a toilet. And I was like, so 5 hours go by, and I'm just like awake, because I can't go to sleep, you know what I mean? So I'm just in there awake on the floor, booty cheeks hurting. Like when I tell you concrete, I've never sat on concrete that long in my life. So they bring this man in there. No lie, y'all, this man had to be 7 feet tall, because the average door is like 6'6" or something like that. And when the police brought the man in there, he had to like duck in coming through the door. Okay, so this man, he's asking me like why are you in here? Like what'd you do to get in here? Like, I know, like, I did something, they did something, like, we all in here for a reason, but, like, why are you in here? Because, you know, that's just something that people do in jail. Like, oh, like, I'm here for this. Like, why are you in here? So he was asking me, and I told him, like, you know what I just told y'all. And this man was like, you weren't on drugs? You weren't drinking? Like, I'm trying to figure out because you're the only one with no clothes on. And I was like, you tried it, but like the police and stuff, they gave me scrubs, so like I had on scrubs, but he was still like what are you on? And I was like, nothing. Like I'm just on angry. Like I'm just on mad. Like I'm not on drugs, I'm not drinking. Like my story is what I just told you. And this man had the audacity to be like, I don't believe you. You're lying to me. And I was like, what do you think happened? Like, okay, Mr. Sir, you caught me. Because actually, the real story is that me and Dora were running through the forest in the middle of the night. And then Swiper was coming out the bushes. And me and Dora was like, Swiper, no Swiper. But he swiped all my clothes off of me, and now I'm in here. Like, no. He really was just like, in my face. Like, yeah, I'm going to whoop your ass, da 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 da. And I'm like,
Lord, you see him talking crazy to me. I will split his head open like Moses parted the Red Sea. You better get him, Lord, if it is not in your will that I go from jail to hell. Please send help. Please send some help to this man. I would David and Goliath this man. Take him out with a pebble, Lord. Height don't even matter, Lord. You better get him.
The police run up in there and like grab him off, and they're like, why are you in his face? Blah, blah, blah. Like yelling at the man. And I was just like, I can't be in here with people like him. Like, y'all need to get him under control. Like, lock him up and throw away the key. That way. I walked out the cell, and it was like, all right, so we're going to put you in this other cell. And I was like, okay, bet. They put me in there, and 6 a.m. hits. And I'm like, where's the judge? Like, I need to find out how I'm going to get out of here, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, actually, no, it's going to be 8 a.m. So I'm like, okay, got another 2 hours to just sit. 8 a.m. hits, and they're like handcuffing people to each other. So, you know, like one person handcuffed to another person, like, you know, everybody's in groups of two, in like pairs. And we're walking down this long hallway. We go to this elevator, this huge elevator, I swear it's like the size of like a small room, you know what I mean? And the elevator drops like, do, 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 do. We are now underground in this parking garage. Like, On God. So they walked us in there, and we had to get in jumpsuits. 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 At that point, I was like, oh, like I'm gonna be in here. Like I started panicking and stuff like that. So after we get in the jumpsuits, they literally have us go around to go to a nurse to get a shot. So I don't even like needles, and I really was not trying to get no shot, but like I didn't have a choice. So once they gave me the shot, I was like, oh, like I got the gel shot. Like I'm really funny being here. Like I was scared, like panicked. So they have us in a like another cell now, and it's time for like everybody to eat. This police comes around with sandwiches, bologna sandwiches, on white bread. White bread. White bread. I was like, no, I'm sorry. Like, I'm not gonna eat. Like, I'm not hungry. I don't have an appetite. Like, you know what I mean? At this point, I don't know where my car is. I don't know how I'm gonna get out of here. I don't know anybody's number. So, like, I have no appetite for no bologna sandwich. And this officer really was like, come on, like jiggling this bologna sandwich in my face, like, come on, like, you know you want it, like jiggling it in front of my face like I was a dog. And I was like, no. 4 hours go by. It is now 12 p.m. And I'm like, okay, like, I thought we were supposed to be seeing the judge. Like, you know, everybody's making phone calls, and I was like, hey, like, can I make a phone call? And they were like, yeah, if you know somebody's number, like, go ahead. And I was like, literally, y'all, my mom has had the same number for 12 years. She just changed her number like 2 weeks ago. So I'm like, I said, I don't know anybody's number. And he was like, I don't know if he was serious or if he was like just trying to like punk me out or like scare me or something like that. But he was like, oh, you don't know anybody's number. Oh, I guess you're just gonna be in here. And I said, what? And he's like, yeah. So I guess you're just gonna be here. So you know, like your court date or whatever when you find out when that is. And I'm like, hey, like you guys, like, hey, y'all have my phone. Can y'all like look in there? It only has 1%, but if y'all could like power it back on and you know look in there, just find my mom's number for me. Like that'd be cool. And he's like, oh no, we can't do that. And he just like literally just slams the door in my face. Like after that, I think it's like 1 p.m. and we see the judge, and it's like a big room with just like everybody in there. It's not like it doesn't look like a court or nothing like that. It's just like the judge and like a chair in the corner, and then like everybody's standing up, and he's just calling up everybody one by one, like, okay, you're on a misdemeanor, or like you're on a felony, or like your bail is this, your bond is that, blah blah blah. So I'm hearing people's like bail at like, oh yeah, like your bail's gonna be $10,000, your bail's gonna be $5,000, and I'm sitting here hearing these numbers like, I mean, I didn't kill nobody, but like, I'm like, I ain't got $2,000, like, I ain't got $5,000, I ain't got $10,000. So then he finally calls me up there, and he's like, alright, so you're being charged with a misdemeanor for running a stop sign and no registration, like under reckless driving. He said, your bail is gonna be $200. I said, y'all, I had the cheapest bail. Everybody was mad. Like, literally my jumpsuit, like, just, like, so happy. He's like, all right, and we have this, it's like this program or whatever. Some people are eligible to only pay, like, you know, you only got to pay, I think, 10 or 20% of your bail. So if you got, like, $1,000, you just pay $100. If you got, like, $5,000, you just pay $500 or whatever. So I'm like, all right, I just got to pay, like, $20 to get out of here. Like, boom. So I'm like, okay, so y'all got my keychain, you know, like my car keys with my debit card in there, so can y'all just for me, and you know, I'll get on my way, we can act like this never happened, right? And he's like, oh no, we can't do that. You have to have somebody come and bail you out, and they can use your card, but it has to be somebody else, or you have to have that amount in cash, however much it costs for you to get out. And I was like, said, well, I don't have anybody to come because I don't know anybody's number. He's like, well, your court date is December the 4th, so you might just be in here till December the 4th. Mind you, it's November the 9th. And I'm like, I can't be in here. Like, he tried to give me a bologna sandwich on white bread. Like, stop, like, please. And he's like, nope, nope, I guess you're just, and I'm like, no. So then after that, they had me take a mugshot. A mugshot. A mugshot. Like, I was like, I'm not gonna lie, I was trying to fix my hair and everything like that. Like, I was like, you know, hair was going through a rough time or whatever. But little side note story. So when I went to the DMV to take my license picture, driver license picture, I was done up. Like, I was looking fly just because I always wanted to be like represented nicely if I ever got pulled over. You know, I just never thought it would happen like this. Literally, my mugshot, my driver's license picture. Like, so, okay, yeah, so after the mugshot, they put me back in another holding cell. And so at this point, it's literally 6 p.m. now. I've been in here for 18 hours, if I did that math correctly. And I'm like literally in the corner like this, like. And other people were getting out, you know what I mean? Like, the police would be like, all right, like, Williams, John, Smith, Brown, like, just, all right, like, you know, you're about to go get unbooked, blah, blah, blah. People would, like, bail at 10,000, 5,000, 1,000, and I'm like, dang, like, y'all really got people that care about you. Like, I mean, I'm like, good for you, but then almost the feeling of, like, when your parent comes and, like, picks you up from school early and you're like, you know, like, I was waiting for that feeling that everybody else was getting. And my name was never called. Like, the cell's emptying out. And I'm getting even more panicked. So, it's 9 p.m. And I'm like, I'm so irritated. I'm so over it. Like, there's literally just people screaming, like, the sound of jail. Like, it's people screaming, people yelling, people fighting, like, people trying to run away and, like, get out, getting tased. There's blood on the floor. Finally, the Lord sends an angel. The police comes in there. He's like, hurt. That's my last name, by the way. He's like, hurt. And I'm like. So I run up there or whatever, and he's like, all right, you're about to go through the process getting unbooked. And at this point, I'm, like, slightly confused because I'm like, I don't know if somebody coming to bail me out or whatever. You know, I'm like, I don't know who it could be. Like, I'm thinking it's probably my mom because, like, she figures out stuff. So I'm like, okay, maybe she got a phone call. Like, maybe they figured it out. Maybe she figured it out. So I go up there, and they take me up the elevator to go through the whole process, do more thumbprints, fingerprints, the whole shebang, and then put me in another holding cell with everybody that's, like, you know, like, dressed back in their normal clothes. So, like, everybody's excited. Everybody's talking to each other, laughing, joking, like, we're all about to get out of here. And it's just, like, about to be a good situation. I'm in this cell for, like, a whole nother hour. It's now 10 p.m. They give me a brown paper bag with my phone, my keys, and my charger. And I'm like, okay. So they're like, all right, yeah, just walk out that way. And I'm like walking out, and it was, I swear it was something like off of a movie. So it's like two huge doors open up like this, and then I walk through, and then they close like. And I'm just like in this room, and then the other two open up, and I walk through a little bit more, and then those two behind me close. There's like a bunch of those, and I'm like, boom, freedom. And I'm like, yes. So I walk outside, and I'm like looking around like, where's my mom? Like, you know what I mean? Like who came to get me? Like, who's the MVP? You know what I mean? Like, looking around like, and nobody's there. So I'm like, okay, that's weird. So I turn my phone back on, and by the grace of God, it comes back on. 1% still. I see I got like 5 missed calls from my mom, and I'm like, okay. Sitting here like, and she answers. She's like, hey, Zach. And I'm like, hey. can you come pick me up? And she was like, why, what's wrong with your car? And I said, I don't know where it is. It got towed last night and I got arrested and I've been in jail and I just got out. The phone went silent and I was like, because I thought it died, and I was like, no, please don't hang up, please don't hang up. I was like, I only got 1%. You can be mad later, you can rant later. Like, please just come pick me up. Like, I don't know where I am. They tried to feed me white bread, like bologna sandwiches, and like, she's like, okay, see my location and I'll be right there. So I'm outside, mad cold, downtown, in my scrubs, in a brown paper bag outside this jail. And I'm waiting for her. I wait probably like 20 minutes. And then she pulls up, and I get in the car, and I'm just like, and she's like, I am so disappointed in you. I cannot believe you did this. I don't know where your car is, but you're gonna have to figure it out. You're gonna have to pay for this. Like, whatever. Like, I gave her a moment to rant, and I'm like, so she's like, all right, so we need to figure out where your car is, and you need to get it out tonight before they charge you for another day. Because impounds do that. Like, they charge you in between like $50 and like $150 per day on top of like the original price. So I'm like, I gotta get this out, gotta get my car out within the next hour and a half. So I find out where it is. I go to the place and I find out, I think it's like, it was $225 to get it out. So my mom was like, was there anything else you need to tell me? And I was like, I said, I think I got a flat tire. I think it was just a flat tire. So like, it might not be like drivable like that. You know what I mean? And she was like, okay, anything else you need to tell me? And I said, well, the airbag's deployed, and I'm not sure if it'll even start. My mom was like, it what? I was like, okay, like, I don't know, like, calm down. I go back there, like, they let me go back there or whatever, and I walk around my car, and, yo, when I tell y'all, one wheel's facing this way, one wheel's facing this way, airbags deployed, and I'm like, police tore up my car, everything's just everywhere, there's, like, dust and powder, and just, not drugs, but, like, you know what I mean, like, so, just a mess, and I know it's not gonna start, you know what I mean, like, I know that it's not gonna crank up, but I think that God would just come through for me. I thought he would just come through for me, like, one more time, and I get in there, and I'm like, put the key in, I'm like, Jesus, nothing, so I'm like, okay, I'll press it one more time, nothing, and I'm like, alright, take the keys out, I'll go back to my mom, and I'm like, so it won't crank, and she's like, what? And I'm like, yeah, and at this point, it's literally like 11:15 at night, so I have 45 minutes to get my car out before they charge me a whole nother day, which is like $100-something. So, call a tow truck gets there, and he's like, oh, ooh, haven't seen one of these, but wow, like, looking at my car, what did you do, like, and I'm like, please just get my car, like, I don't want to think about it, I don't know, I don't know why one wheel's this way, one wheel's that way, I don't know, just get my car out, please. So, he literally tows my car out with minutes to spare, and everybody's like, yo, like, ooh, like, the way that wheel is bent, like, ooh, that's attached to the frame, like, oh, like, it's total, the airbags are deployed, like, this is total, like, you might as well start looking for another car right now, like, this car is gone, like, you could forget about it, and I'm like, no, I will not give up on this car. So, I ended up, by the grace of God, like, it wasn't, like, the frame part wasn't messed up, so it only cost $800 to get fixed, and then the tow was like, the tow truck was like, I think like $125 or something like that. So my car gets fixed. It's better than ever, like gorgeous. So I go to court and I find out that the no registration ticket and the running a stop sign ticket only came out to $320. Not bad, because I thought it was gonna be like $1,000 or something like that. So I low-key was kind of like mad, like, y'all really sent me to jail for $320? $320? Y'all sending people to jail for $320? Okay. Petty. And so now I find out like I don't have to pay like the whole $320 if I just come back with registration and like $110 for like a driving course for the stop sign thing. Then like I'm good. Like A-okay. Back on the road. Back at it. You know what I mean? Like everything's good. So yeah. So that's how I totaled my BMW and got arrested naked. And moral of the story, I don't know, like, don't overreact, don't get mad. If you leave the house, have on clothes, you know what I mean? Like, no speeding, have your headlights on. I don't know. Like, take whatever you want from the story. Literally, my life is garbage. Hi, nice to meet you. Like, I have a million other stories, like, just from, like, last year, like, alone. Like, just, my life's trash. So, if you like this video, subscribe. I don't know where the subscribe thing is. Is it over here? Or is it over here? I don't know. I'm new to this. Like, comment, share. Do whatever you want to. You know, I'm not forcing you to do nothing. But I'm pretty funny. No, I'm joking. But, okay, y'all. Until next time. I hope this video good. This is take 3.